Good afternoon, students. Name of the land. Now we are continuing with the next page of history. What, where, how, and when. The chapter one. Two of the two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. Name of the land. It's a topic. The word India comes from the Indus called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Indus river के name से India name is we recognize. Find Iran and Greece in your atlas. The Iranian and the Greek who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with the Indus called it the Hindus or the Indos. इसको हिंदूज भी कहते थे, इंडोज भी कहते थे. ग्रीक जो फेमिलियर हुए 2005 ईयर अगो. एंड द लैंड टू द ईस्ट ऑफ द रिवर वॉज कॉल्ड इंडिया. एंड द लैंड to the east of the river was called India. The name Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest, and it is to be called as to be known as a group of people who are Indians, who are mentioned in the Rig Veda. The earliest composition in Sanskrit dated to about 3500 years ago. Later it was used for the country. तो ऋग्वेदा में भी इसका नाम मेंशन किया हुआ है भारत के नाम, इंडिया के नाम से, तभी हम इसे इंडिया कहते हैं. लेटर इट इज़ यूज्ड फॉर द कंट्री. आवर कंट्री नेम इज़ इंडिया. हाउ इट इज़ turned to India, Indos, Hindus, and also the proof we have reached the proof where it is written name of the country. Our country is India. Finding out about the past. There are several ways to finding out about the past. One is search for the read books that were written long ago. या तो सर्च करें हम तो भी पास्ट के बारे में पता चलता है, या बुक्स को रीड करें जहाँ पे लिखा हो, पास्ट की पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन दी हो. तो अब देखते हैं कि क्या है लिखा हुआ इसका मतलब. फाइंडिंग आउट अबाउट द पास्ट. दीज आर कॉल्ड मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स. जो बुक्स का जिस एज की बुक्स कोई रीड करी चाहिए उनका नाम है मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स. तो मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स क्या होते हैं? विच इज़ हैंड रिटन बाय हैंड ऑन द बार्क ऑफ द ट्री. Because they were written by hand, and this comes from the Latin word manu, meaning hand. Manu meaning hand. Manuscript, handwritten. These were usually written on palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as the birk. Bark of a tree. ट्रीज़ की जो स्किन होती है उसको बिर्क भी कहते हैं. विच ग्रो इन द हिमालयस पर्वत में पाई जाती हैं. ओवर द ईयर्स मैनी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स वर ईटन अवे बाय इंसेक्ट्स. सम वर डिस्ट्रॉयड बट many have survived. As the time passes, many manuscripts have been destroyed by the insects and other things, but much more have survived later on, often preserved it in the temples and monasteries. टेम्पल में ये रखी जाती हैं ये मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स, यहाँ पे मोनेस्ट्रीज़ में जो बुद्ध लोगों के द्वारा बनाई गई हैं. एंड दीज बुक्स dealt with all kind of subjects: religion, belief, practices, live the king, medicine, science. Beside there are epic poem, plays. Many of these were written in the Sanskrit. Most of the manuscripts are written in Sanskrit. Don't worry. Many of these were written in Sanskrit, others were in Prakritic language used by ordinary people, and Tamil. Many of the manuscripts have been written in Sanskrit language, in which various kind of information is given about the past, which we can study and other were in Prakritic. Some of the languages used in Prakritic are Tamil as well. We can also study inscriptions. Now the second term comes inscriptions. What are these inscriptions? Manuscript का तो we come to know about कि कैसे रखा जाता है उनको temples and monasteries में. And there are writings on the relatively hard surfaces such as stone or metal. अब ये इंस्क्रिप्शन जो हैं हार्ड मेटल के ऊपर बनाई गई हैं. Sometimes king got their order inscribed so that people could see and read away them. There are other kings kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women, including kings and queens, recorded what they did. For example, king often kept records of victories in the battle. अपनी विक्ट्री के बैटल बताने के लिए कि क्या क्या उन्होंने लाइफ में किया. ये दे इंस्क्राइब्ड द थिंग्स ऑन made the inscriptions and were successful in showing what they did in life. There were many other things that were made and used in the past. Yes, we are saying there were many things which were used in the past. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. जो भी इंस्क्रिप्शंस को मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट को पढ़ के या खुदाई करके हमें बताते हैं, उनको उन लोगों को क्या कहते हैं? आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट. दे आर आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट. इट्स देयर वर्क. They study the remains of the building made of stones and bricks, paintings and sculptures. What they do, they study the remain of the buildings made of stone and brick, paintings, sculptures. They also explore the excavate, dig under the surface of the earth to find tools, weapons, pots. अच्छा वो ये भी करते थे. They also explore and excavate, dig under the surface of the earth to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments, and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stones, other of bones, baked clay, metal. Objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. Thank you. We come to know about how they started digging under the earth, how they finding strong tools and weapons to study the history, to recognize the dates, to recognize the past. They used all these things, baked clay or material, other of bones. Baked clay or metal objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. So these inscriptions are one good thing, or they can survive for a long time, not like in manuscripts that it can be destroyed after some point of time by insects and other things. And but in case of inscriptions, these are preserved. These could be preserved for a longer time. Thank you.